go.
Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to our second webinar. So lovely to be here today. I am Rachelle, founder of Your Happy Place, helping you to find your happy place through our online program, the Positive Mindset Challenge. And this lovely lady next to me is Alana.
Hey, for those who don't know me, I'm Alana. I'm one of the co-founders from Your Success Team. And if you were going to put us in a little box, which we don't like being put in, we are business coaches, but we like to do things very, very differently, and making it all about how you shape your business to be as successful as you want to be on your terms, making it as unique as you are. So obviously mindset's a massive part of that. And that's why these conversations are probably one of the highlights of my week. So I'm really excited to get into it today. And I feel like it couldn't be a better day. Like, it's gorgeous, it's sunny. We sat out here in the garden at Bloomco, and
At the lakes.
very, very stoked to be here.
Yeah, wonderful. So our theme for today is how to find more happiness, how to put more happiness back into your days, because we've found there's a lot of people feeling a bit flat with everything going on at the moment. Completely understandable. The goalposts have shifted and we can't all achieve and do everything that we have been accustomed to doing and the sort of things that we would like to do. So our focus today is on helping you to elevate yourself back up to a level where you're feeling a lot better, a lot happier each day, and thriving.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I was thinking this morning as I was out walking the dog, and it was just because it's one of those days where the sun's just popping, right? And I was like, there's something about the sunshine, and so it made me really conscious coming into this conversation today that the seasons are going to shift. We've got that pesky old daylight savings change coming, and I know that always impacts me. Do you in all of your oodles of research, have you got much stuff that would be helpful to sort of share about the impact that the seasons have on how we feel in our mood?
Oh, definitely. The lack of sun makes a massive difference on how we feel. We just know how amazing it is to walk outside on a sunny day. So the vitamin D that comes with having the sunshine is obviously lacking. So it's super important to get outside more often, even when it is a bit more of a crappy day and not such a nice day. So definitely important to get outside and make the most of those any kind of light that you are able to get, even on a cloudy day, even on a stormy day. Get out in the rain. Yeah, but it has a huge effect on our mindsets, and obviously it disrupts our sleep a little bit with the change of daylight savings. So should we kick off today by talking about sleep?
Yes, as someone with a teething 2-year-old, let's talk about sleep.
Yes. So sleep is huge for our well-being. When you are lacking in sleep, it affects your ability to think and brainstorm by a huge 33%.
Whoa.
So the next day after a day after a sleepless night, you or even just down a little bit on how much sleep that you need, you're really not punching above your weight at all, and you sort of end up dragging yourself through the day and not feeling that great. So sleep is probably the first thing to put on your list for when you're not feeling quite as amazing as you normally do, to get into bed early. So that 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. cycle is your best time for sleeping. That's when your body rejuvenates, heals, cleanses, and all those sorts of things. So getting to sleep by 10 p.m. is actually massive for the way you feel the next day, but also for the state of your health. So your body has gone into when you can get to sleep by 10 p.m., your body goes into a rapid cleansing and healing cycle, and it's going to do a whole lot better at those systems and those functions than if you got to sleep later. So definitely don't sit up at night thinking I can just get a few more things done. Your next day will suffer. So definitely get to sleep by that time.
It's so interesting. My grandma used to have this saying, which was every hour of sleep before midnight is worth more than 2 after.
Perfect.
And I remember in the really early days when my kids were little, I have not had the great fortune of having good sleepers, unfortunately, but they make up for it in other ways. But that would be mine and my other half's deal, is I'd get the pre-midnight, like I'd be like, you give me that sleep. And then after that, I'd sort of I'd take the leave, because I knew that even if I only got 3 solid hours, but if the 3 solid hours were before midnight, that made all the difference, because there's only so much you can control when you're going through that, I guess, that period of life. But I think for those who are through the other side, what are some more generic, perhaps, sleep sleep hygiene tips or things that you've seen work really well?
Yeah, absolutely. So as we just said, getting to sleep by 10 p.m. is fantastic, just for those ones that have just popped into the room to join us. Getting to sleep by 10 p.m. is fantastic. So if you're struggling with your sleep at night, struggling to get to sleep, putting a good little routine in the evening will really, really help. So things like not eating within 2 hours of going to bed. So pull that dinner time back to earlier, so your body's got time to digest your food fully before you try and go to sleep. Because obviously, if you're still digesting food, your body can't sleep quite as efficiently. And turning off your devices, TV, phone, everything, all of that, an hour. Half an hour to an hour, ideally an hour before you go to sleep. So many of us sort of check, our phones or reply to messages or jump into bed and do those things. The blue light that comes out of your devices actually fully upsets and disrupts your sleep patterns. So definitely turning those off beforehand is great. Having a relaxing bath, having a chamomile tea, that's really settles and slows and calms all your body systems down as well before you go to sleep. That can really, really help. Also,
awesome. Yeah. I've put a setting on my phone that puts it into a do not disturb, and it grayscales the screen from 9 o'clock till 6 a.m.
Nice.
So it's like this little shutter comes down, and because quite often I'll try and do some evening yoga, and then all of a sudden it's gone from colourful to in black and white. I'm like, oh, okay, computer says time for bed.
And it really is.
It's amazing because it's a really good signal, because for me, my sweet spot is if I can be in bed by 9:30, I know that I then don't hit that the 11 p.m. wind. I don't know if you've heard about that, but Dr. Libby's done a lot of writing about there's something particularly for us women that if you're not asleep by 11, and this is so true for me, then you're likely not to get to sleep until 1.
Wow.
And it's amazing for me if I disrupt my schedule at all, and I'm not in bed and asleep by that 10:30.
Yes.
It's all over, Rover.
Gone. Yeah. So pulling it right back to sort of starting at 9 o'clock, starting to think about where you're heading and what you're doing, and shutting things down, turning things off, and getting yourself to bed.
I'm a nana, but it makes a big difference in the morning. So
that's fantastic.
So sleep's obviously a really big one. What else? Because I'm conscious that at the moment it would be really tempting to do a whole lot of stuff that would be awesome and big and shift us into a more happy place, but it's also, there's so much that's out of our control. So what's some of the small stuff that you've seen work really well in terms of mood shifting?
Yeah, absolutely. So another huge thing with our mood is, we talk about some little bits and pieces, is also the food that you eat. So sugar is a depressant, so it will pick you up and then it will drop you down. So that's a massive thing to avoid. Fruits and natural sugars are great, so they're awesome, but avoid the processed sugars, the white sugars, and as much as you possibly can, because they will definitely mess with your mood. And preservatives and additives in our foods also really mess with our mood. So very important to just look at as nutritious a diet as possible. And I definitely don't mean go and reinvent the wheel at the moment and take on any huge new habits necessarily, because we're all busy and we've all got lots of things going on, but every small little shift that you can make in that area makes a difference. So instead of having pick me up something sugary in the afternoon, instead reach for some fruit, reach for some nuts, some healthy nuts or some fruit. Just making that change can make a big difference. And tied in with that is coffee. So coffee's fabulous for you. Everyone, and lots of people enjoy a coffee, so I'm definitely not saying don't have coffee. But when you drink coffee, your body creates cortisol, which is a stress hormone. And so having that one coffee in the morning, by all means, go for it. If you love that and it makes you feel good, and if that's part of your morning routine that you just don't want to give up, then definitely do that. But just don't keep repeating that cycle throughout the day. Make sure you have your coffee before midday, and not again in the afternoon, because every time you go and have another coffee and another coffee, you're putting your body into that state of stress each time. And maybe lovely for the first one and enjoyable, but those other ones are actually really detrimental to your health and to your sleep patterns and your rhythms and cycles within your body. So reducing it down to one coffee in the morning is a huge, just a little easy thing you can do that makes a big difference.
I haven't had a caffeinated coffee since my eldest was born, and it's amazing how I can feel the shift. So now I even have to limit my black tea consumption. Yeah, because it's got caffeine in it. So yeah, if I have more than 2 of those, and I try not to have anything after 2 o'clock, I can feel like it's almost like I can feel like a sort of like a shakiness kind of creeping in, like almost like a wired anxiety, if that.
Yes.
Does that kind of make sense?
It's totally what is happening with your body when you're giving it caffeine in the afternoon. You're wiring it up. You're putting it on edge. You're putting it into that more stressed mode, and that has an effect on your afternoon and on your evening.
Yeah, which is probably not the greatest thing to have happen if you've got a busy evening, or if you're running around, if you're doing school pickups or kids sports or anything like that. It feels like it's just putting more petrol on a fire, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we do our best work when we're happy and we're feeling positive. So when you're feeling stressed, all the good functions of our brain, are really limited. They're shut down. So our memory, our intelligence, our problem solving, our creative thinking, all those things that are shut down or severely reduced when we're feeling stressed and worried and anxious, and significantly enhanced when we're feeling positive and happy. So we do our best work when we're feeling really good. So super important to put these different little things in place to help us feel good. Another really neat one is gratitude.
Yes, I love gratitude. Yeah,
and it's definitely a word that's thrown around, and a lot of people are like, but I'm grateful. I say thank you, things like that. But gratitude, feeling really grateful, is actually one of the highest frequency feelings, insofar as you feel the most love, and you feel the most fulfilled and the happiest when you are feeling really, really grateful. So it's actually scientifically proven to be one of the very, very top ways of feeling happier and feeling more positive in your life. For the way that it makes you feel, but also for what you're thinking about.
I had a friend last year, and she messaged me, and she was like, okay, I've done it. I've jumped on this gratitude,
bandwagon.
Insert rude word here, bandwagon that you've been harping on about for so long, and it works. And I was like, that's awesome. Yeah. And so she started really, really simple with just literally, which I think a lot of people recommend, which is just listing 3 things that you're grateful for. And I think it works. It can work 2 ways. One is before you start. That sets you up to be in a really positive frame of mind, or at the end of the day, because it just kind of means that you're going to sleep with, I guess, like a warm fuzzy feeling. So I personally like to do mine to finish the day. How about you?
I like to do mine, well, both actually, to start the day, and it's a really neat thing to write it down as well, and not just think about it, because something about writing it down, you focus on it more, you concentrate on it more, you dwell on it more. But beginning of the day, and think of 3 new things each day. So don't go and repeat the same things as you said yesterday, but think of 3 new things that you're grateful for. And this has several flow-on effects and really positive benefits. And one is that you start creating new habits. So you start training your brain to look for the positives, and which is massive, because when you start training your brain to look for positives, you are going to see and experience more and more positives around you. It's the way the brain works, and we talked a lot about that last week, so I won't go into it this week. But that's the way our brains are designed. So you start training your brain to look for and see in more and more positive, good things. So it's definitely the beginning of your day is wonderful, and then at the end of your day, thinking back to yourself, what are the good things? What good things happened in my day? Might have had some not so good things happen, but pull out the good things and be grateful for those good things. And the more that you do that, then the more good things end up eventuating in your day, which is quite amazing. So it's a really good, feel good, simple tool you can put into your day.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we think that gratitude's got to be all the big stuff, but like I was thinking, I did a donation a couple of weeks ago through to a Ukrainian sort of fundraising thing, and then I went and I filled up my drink bottle from the tap, and I was like, running water, clean, safe to drink running water. And it's funny because like that, our human brain just like starts to take stuff for granted. And I was like, when was the last time I was grateful for running water that was safe to drink? Well, I am grateful for running water today. And it was a really good reminder for me, because I think sometimes I keep trying to think of like big stuff to be grateful for, but actually sometimes it's the smaller stuff to be grateful for that. I don't know, like it is those little things that make up our life, aren't they?
Yeah, so, absolutely.
It was a good reminder for me.
Yeah. And that's the basic things that we just totally take for granted. But another neat one to do is being grateful for things that money can't buy. So rather than focusing your gratitude on material items, it's more being grateful for the things that are in your life that money can't buy you. You know, and it's friendships, lovely friendships, and it's hugs, and it's you know, your family, and it's you know, just those sunny days, cloudy days, the rain, your plants, gardens, just those basic things. And the more that you think and look for those things, you know, the more you open your mind up to, and you realize how lucky we really are.
Yeah,
really, really lucky.
Yeah. I think that's such a good point, because I think sometimes we can get caught up in what I kind of have in my brain is the Friday syndrome. Like, I'm waiting for Friday to be happy, or I'm waiting for the next house to be happy, or I'm waiting for this new milestone in life. But actually, if you spend your whole life waiting for Friday, like, life just skims past you. And so I think focusing on the stuff that you're grateful for that money can't buy, it just feels so joyful.
It's every day. It's every day. And also, when you focus your happiness, tie your happiness into your goal setting, you're never going to be truly happy, because every time you achieve a goal, you just push the goal out further. You just increase the goal. You just, you know, I've achieved this, now I want to achieve this. Like, you don't actually stop and give yourself much time to be happy.
Yeah, next challenge, please.
You're on to the next thing. Yeah, absolutely. And which is completely backwards, because obviously you're not doing your best work when you're just constantly chasing something, taking the moment to be happy, and then all those beautiful things flow like so much easier.
Yeah. So how about when you're in a funk, like you have something happen, like, I don't know, you've got you've just been thrown a curveball, because I guess the thing is it's one thing to try and construct a life where your default setting is happy or joyful, and it takes practice and time. But we're humans, so stuff's going to come our way, which is going to slip us into a funk. Like, what have we got some quick win ideas to share to maybe help shift that mood?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the biggest thing is when life throws us a curveball, is that all we can think about is that curveball. And it's right there in front of us, and it's massive, and it's the biggest challenge of the day, and we just can't think of anything else. So I think the biggest thing to start with, it depends if you need to action it. If you don't need to action it, definitely try and change your focus. If you need to action it, then take yourself away from the situation. Take yourself to a place, like even just walking outside, or just going for a walk, to a place where you can brainstorm a better solution to what's going on. So something's thrown at you all of a sudden. You're in isolation when you have all of these things to do. What am I going to do? Instead of sitting and panicking about it, you know, get up, go for a walk, think, right, what are the main things that I need to do? How can we get through this? How can we make the best of this situation? Asking yourself those questions, and taking yourself away from the situation to help brainstorm really good ideas to cope with it. And remembering that we've got a white knuckle grip on life. You know, we would like to control everything that's going on, and that's just natural human nature. And so when life throws us a curveball, all of a sudden it knocks us off our feet, and we can't control what's going on anymore. So it's allowing yourself to be okay with that, just saying, okay, this has happened, out of my control. I just have to accept it, and what's the best way of moving forward now? So it's especially at the moment, perhaps just bringing those expectations of yourself and what you're achieving down a little bit to a more manageable level. We with lots of things going on, it's very tricky to try and achieve and be at our very, very best, you know, every single day. And so being okay with just dropping that down for a while and saying it's okay, because I need to prioritize me feeling good and me feeling happy and me feeling healthy over trying to achieve at those same sort of levels that we're used to.
I found that quite helpful. I've had kids at home the last couple of weeks, and that obviously then means that you're not in life as usual. And so I'm just kind of like, what's the smallest version of success today? And that I found really, really helpful. And you know, quite often it's like that I got them dressed,
perfect.
And that we got outside. Or it could be that, you know, I found 15 minutes of my yoga mat at the end of the day, and that was all. You know, I've learned over time that that's all I need to bring me back to, I guess, a level of calm that and knowing that it'll pass, that I can start again, you know, the next whenever. So
that's brilliant. Your smallest level of success for today. So what's the one thing or two things that I can do today so I feel like I had a successful day, but I'm not, you know, sitting at my computer all day or, you know, feeling bad all day about all the things I aren't achieving. just set yourself 1 or 2 small little achievable goals and say, okay, I can just do these couple of things today. I feel like I've achieved, and put them to the top of your list.
Yeah.
And once you've done those, you've given yourself permission to feel like you've achieved enough for the day.
Yeah.
Anything else on top of that is a bonus.
Yeah.
Anything else is going to make you feel better.
Yeah. And I'm just reflecting on what you were just saying about white knuckle grip on life. I love it. It's such a great visual.
So
but I would say I'm probably still quite highly strung, but I was quite highly strung when I was in my early 20s, and I had this amazing boss, and I took everything so seriously in my in my serious job, and he had previously run a prison in South Africa, and he was like, sit you down. Yeah. No one's gonna die on your watch. Yeah. So can we put it in perspective? And it was such a good piece of advice. Yes. And I used to say that, to so many people who I used to work with is, I know this feels really stressful, but is anyone going to die? You're not a surgeon, you're not a nurse, you're not on the front line somewhere, you're not in a hostage negotiation situation. Like, if no one's going to die, like, calm the farm, and just put it in perspective. And so, that your white knuckle grip on life just gave me that visual. And I think sometimes we in the nicest way, we think we're more important than we actually are. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, we do.
Yeah. I'm conscious of time, and wondering if anyone's got any questions, and we can open the floor up to see if anyone's got anything they want to ask us before we wrap up. So has anyone got anything they want to ask while you've got Rachelle and I here?
Is everyone all good and happy? Awesome. So just a quick little summary of the today, and then we'll finish up. So today is all about putting yourself in that happy mindset as often as you can, and our little tips around that is with regards to sleep, in regards to what you're eating and drinking through the day. Limit your coffees in the morning and eat those good healthy foods. As just little small changes, as every little small change you make is wonderful. And putting some wonderful gratitude into your life as well, as a quick summary.
Absolutely. And I think there are a couple of really good quick wins in there that people could start trying. I love what you said about when you get thrown that curveball, get outside or change the situation, walk away from it, and just brainstorm some different solutions to get you thinking differently. I think that's really, really practical. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay. So that's awesome.
Fantastic.
And I think that's all for us today, guys. So unless anyone's got any questions, we will let you get back to your day, and thank you so much for sharing a lunchtime with us to have a little mindset reset.
Thank you very much, everyone.